welcome to my first book haul of the year. These are going to be all of the books that I acquired from January to about like the first 2 weeks of July. I'm filming this on July 14th, and yeah, I have 40 books to talk to you guys about today, which is kind of crazy considering I said I was going to be on a book buying ban this year. But here we are. And I do want to say that a good majority of these books I got for my birthday. So thank you to all of my friends and family and everyone who got me books for my birthday. I really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and talk about these books. So we're going to go through this list in order from which I got these books. So we're going to start over in January and work our way to the most recent books that I've got. But the very first book I got in 2026 was Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmes. This is one that was super hyped the year that I came out, which was probably like 2022, 2023. It was a few years ago when this book came out and it was everywhere. And I am trying to not read books when they are hyped, but to wait a while and see if I'm still interested and then read them. I do usually want to know like why everyone was talking about this book. I'm just a nosy person, so I do have this one. It is one that I got from a used book sale, but I am really excited to get to read this one. I also got my best friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, which was also from the used bookstore. And this one is an author I have read from before, and I haven't really been the biggest fan of their works, but I know this one is probably one of their most popular ones, and it's one that my friend really enjoyed. So I do want to read it just to give Grady Hendrix another chance and also just see again what people are saying about this one. The Will of the Many by James Islington is the first book in a chunky fantasy series that I have been really wanting to read, and I just haven't gotten around to this one yet, but I definitely really want to. It has been on my last couple of TBRs, but I promise I will get to this one very soon. Children of Strife by Adrian Tchaikovsky is book 4 in the Children of Time series. It is one I have already read, and I'll have the video where I talk more about my thoughts on this one linked if you want to check it out, but honestly, this was a very big disappointment. I do absolutely love this series. The first 3 books are some of my absolute favorites. This one, however, just really didn't work for me, but I did buy it with the hopes, of course, that I would love it, but also because I love the series and I wanted to collect all of them. But sadly, this one just really did not work for me. Soulfyre by Samantha Nell is another one I've already read and didn't really enjoy. This is a romantasy book, and again, I will have a video linked where I talk more about this one if you want to hear my thoughts on it. But yeah, this was another disappointing read. However, Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer is one that I have already read and I gave 5 stars. This was my very first 5-star read of 2026. I absolutely love this book. And this is a horror book all about like Tradwife and the social commentary around Tradwives. I really love this book and would highly recommend it. But going back to books I have already read and haven't enjoyed, we have Under the Oak Tree by Suji Kim. This is a novelization of a webcomic. I think just the novelization of this webcomic didn't do it justice, but I haven't read the webcomic, so I can't really speak to how true that is. But from other reviews I've seen, it's that the novelization just really did not do these characters justice, and yeah, I was really disappointed in this one. Next we have Eco Revolution by Maya Penn. This is one that the publisher did send me for review, so thank you to them. But I did really enjoy this one, and yeah, I think it's a great one if you're looking to read more about environmental nonfiction. This is a great one. It is very short. I think it's really good for beginners, but I did like this one. I was also sent The Problem with Pretty by Dr. Allison Powell Hicks. I have also read this one and I really loved it. Another one if you're looking for more nonfiction to read. Again, it's a really short one, but this is all about the psychology of beauty and I thought it was really good. American Rapture by CJ Lead is one I actually got off of Pango and it came in like such great condition. A really great find. I have read May Fly by this author, and that's like one of my all-time favorite horror books. I loved it so much, and I now finally have a copy of this one. This is the author's 2nd book, I believe, and their 3rd book just came out, which I also really want to read. But yeah, I am really excited to have a copy of this one, and it's one I am possibly planning on reading for Summerween, or just like in the month of July in general, but we'll see if I get to it. I also got a copy of People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry from Pango Books, and I bought this one just because I've read it quite a few years ago, but I absolutely loved it, and I just didn't have a copy for my collection. I did originally read it from the library, so yeah. I finally found a copy for a decent price, and yeah. I can now add this to my collection of Emily Henry books. Okay, now we get to the part of the book haul where I sort of went crazy buying books off of Vinted. I would definitely recommend checking Vinted out if you're looking for some really cheap used books. I think I've got the next few for like $1 a piece, but I do have Legendborn and Bloodmarked. I think these came in a really nice condition, and again, they were $1 each. And this one does have sprayed edges. The edges are like a little messed up in places, but you can't beat $1 for books. Also, these are the UK versions of the books, which I think is also really neat, but yeah. I do have these two in my collection. This is a series I've been wanting to check out. It is a YA fantasy series, but I've heard so many good things about it, so I really want to give it a try. And again, can't beat the price for the first and second book in the series. Then I got the Terraformers by Annalee Newitt. This is an art copy. Again, I did buy this off Vinted. Pretty sure you're not supposed to sell them, but I bought it. But this is just one that I've had on my radar for a while now. I saw it, so I have it now. And yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a try. Then I got Leave the World Behind by Rumen Alam. This is one I've seen so many people have like mixed opinions on, but it kind of sounds like a weird mystery that would be right up my alley, and so I got a copy of it. Then I got Butcher and Blackbird by Bryony Weaver. This is one I have also already read, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. It is this not necessarily dark romance. It is a bit lighthearted, but we are following two serial killers in this book who end up falling in love, and yeah, it's just really silly, really fun. And I do have a couple more books by this author to show you, but that'll be later. But yeah, I did really enjoy this one. It was a fun, silly time. Then I got Even If the Sky is Falling, which is an anthology edited by Taj McCoy. And this is just one where I've heard so many great things about, and also about these authors. They're all authors that I really want to try out. So I got this one. Then I got Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Hill series, I believe. But if you've been around on this channel for a little while, you will know that the Rose Hill series by this author is one of my favorites. And so I just want to pick up more by Elsie Silver, and I got this one. And I have since started it. I think I'm on chapter 2, so I haven't made much progress at all, but I am really excited to see what happens in this one. Then I got The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is an author who I've read before. I believe The 7-Year Slip is the title of it, and I really enjoyed that one, so I decided to pick this one up. I'm not sure what all it's about, but I'm sure it has her like signature romance that has like a magical element to it, and I'm really excited to give it a try and see if I enjoy this one as much as The 7-Year Slip, because this might be an author I definitely need to look out for. And then Sign Here by Claudia Lux. I think this is the last one, at least for right now, that I got from Vinted. But this one I think sounds really fun. I think it's all about this guy who works in hell, and he is tasked with trying to get this family to sell him their soul. And it just seems like it'd be a really funny story, and so I'm excited to have this one, and I have heard really good things about it. Then I got Matchmaking for Psychopaths by Tasha Coriel. This is one that I actually got from the dollar store, and I just picked it up just because I haven't heard anyone else talk about this one, and I figured why not. I also just really loved like this vintage sort of art style that's on the cover, and so I figured why not give it a try. And then I was at the bookstore and I saw they had some blind date with books, and again, if you've been on this channel, you might know that I have a thing with blind date with books. I can never pass them up whenever I see them in a store, and so yeah, I got one. It does have lots of stickers, lots of bookmarks, and I have been dying to open this one. I'm not going to open it in this video, but definitely very soon, because I just want to know what's in this one. But it is a fantasy romance book, and the tropes that it has on here is arranged marriage, enemies to lovers, magic curse. It has a 3 chili pepper out of 5 spice level. And the tease, it says, is bound by an ancient curse, married to her enemy, ice melts slowly. And I kind of just went with this one just because I never want to buy one of these blind date with the books and actually own the book already. And so I figured like a romantasy book was more of a safer bet just because I don't own a lot of them and I'm definitely like not up to date with the popular ones. So I figured this was like a safe bet to go. And also I'm still trying to find romantasy books that I actually enjoy. So we'll see about this one. And then I have Never Worry About Money Again by Answering One Question by Jessie Meckham. This is a very short book. I was sent this one as like a little PR box thing by YNAB, I believe. That's what they're called. But it's like a money app and they asked me if I wanted to check out this book. I said yes, just because I do really enjoy reading finance books where I can actually learn something. There have been so many that I don't like. And this is one of them. I definitely don't think this is worth reading. Very sad to say because it was like a PR thing. It came very cute. One of my first like PR boxes that I've got, so I was really excited. But no, I definitely don't think this is worth reading unless you're like super new to money, to how to manage money and all that. But I definitely think that there are other books out there that do a much better job. But yeah, very sad to say. But at least it was like 80 pages, so it didn't take up too much of my time. But yeah, I do have this one. Okay, back to talking about Vinted. I do have 8 more historical or romances to show you guys. If you've seen my last book haul video that wasn't posted too long ago, you will have saw that I bought like a giant lot of historical romances, and from that I just really enjoyed going through those. And so I found a couple more on Vinted that I bought. So let's go through these ones and talk about them. The first 4 are all by Eloisa James, which is a historical romance author who I have read from before and really enjoyed, so I do want to collect her books. So this first one is Pleasure for Pleasure, and it has this really pretty step back inside. Then I have A Duke of Her Own, which has this step back. Then 7 Minutes in Heaven has the step back. Doesn't have any people, but it's still pretty. And then Duchess by Night has the step back inside. And I have no clue what any of those are about. I'm just kind of collecting them. I do have plans to read them, but mainly I just want to collect them. I also have She Tempts the Duke by Lorraine Heath, which is an author I have also read from before and really enjoyed. I also have Minx by Julia Quinn. This is a really popular author. I haven't read anything by her yet, but this copy is in such like perfect condition. I was really shocked by it, but yeah, I do own this one. I also have Savage Courage by Casey Edwards, which has the step back inside. And then Gentle Warrior by Julie Garwood. This is an author I have heard so many great things about, so I did find this one. Okay, then I only have 2 books left that I bought off Vinted to talk about, and then we can get into all of the books that I got for my birthday. So first, I did find this copy of Yellow Face by R. Kwong. I absolutely love R. Kwong. I have read this book already and I really enjoyed it. I read it when it had first come out from the library, but I never owned a copy, and now I do. I will be attempting to take off this sticker. This is also another book that I got for just $1, so you can't beat that for a hardback. But yeah, I am really excited to finally own a copy of this one. And this is also the last book by R. Kwong that I have yet to own, besides her new one that hasn't released yet. But I now own every book by R.F. Kwong, which is really exciting. And then I got Dead Dead Girls by Nekesa Afia, which is a Harlem Renaissance mystery. This is one I've heard so many great things about, and I don't think I've ever read a Renaissance mystery before, so I do want to try this one out. And yeah, I've heard great things about it, so I decided to get it. And then I got 7 books for my birthday, so again, thank you to everyone who got me books, but let's go through these ones. First, I have Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is the 3rd and final book in the Between Earth and Sky trilogy, and I absolutely loved the first 2 books in the series, and I cannot wait to see how the series ends. It is quite a chunky one, but I am so excited to see how the story ends. again, one of my favorite fantasy series that I have recently started and absolutely became obsessed with, so I'm super excited to have a copy of this one. And then I have Wolfform by T. Kingfisher. I absolutely love T. Kingfisher's horror book, so I'm super excited to have this one. I know absolutely nothing about it, but again, love this author's writing, so I'm super excited to have this one. And then Villain by Natalie Zena Walshcott is one I have been waiting to release for so long. Hinge came out many years ago. I don't even know when, but I was absolutely obsessed with that book, and I know there was always planned to be a second book, but the release date kept getting pushed back and back and back, and it has finally released, and I'm so excited to jump back into this world. I'm definitely going to need to reread Hinge, but I'm so excited about that. Again, one of my all-time favorite books, and I have been meaning to reread it, but I've been saving it till this book released, so yeah. Probably one of the most exciting books that I have to talk about. Just so excited. I really hope this lives up to Hinge. Then I have Taurus Season and Harvest Season by Bryony Weaver. Again, I talked about Butcher and Blackbird, but these are the first two books in the Seasons of Carnage trilogy. But yeah, I've also heard so many great things about the series. I'm really excited. Also, this one has such pretty sprayed edges. I'm in love with it. But yeah, I do have these two books and I'm really excited. I will probably be binge reading these books back to back, but we will see. I am really excited, especially if they're like Butcher and Blackbird, where they're just like really fun, kind of campy, cheesy books. I will really enjoy them, so I am looking forward to these two. I also got Decomposition Book by Sarah Van Oos. This is one I had on my most anticipated releases of 2026, and I'm really happy that I have a copy of this one. But this is a horror book, and I believe this is following our main character who kind of stumbles upon a body in the woods, and they have this notebook with them and she starts reading it. I believe that's what this one is about anyways, if I'm remembering correctly. But either way, I just really love this cover. I think it's so pretty. And then the last book I have to share with you all today is A Fortune of Sand by Ruta Sepetys. This is another author who I absolutely love, and I have every single book by her, and they're all historical fiction books. They're all quite sad, but I love all of them, and so I'm really excited for this one. I don't actually know what this one is about, but it's set in Detroit in 1927, so yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a try, see what it's all about, but I know I'm going to end up loving it, and it might possibly make me cry, but we will see. But those are all 40 of the books that I got in the first half of 2026. Super exciting, although this definitely is not doing good for me reading down my TBR challenge, and this also doesn't include all of the 22 books I think I included in my last book haul of like historical romances. So really this is over like 60 books that I am hauling in the first half of 2026, which is honestly about how many books I've read so far this year. So there's that. But I do want to try and read down my TBR, so we'll see how the second half of 2026 goes. But thank you all so much for making it this far into the video. If you have read any of these books that I have showed today, definitely let me know your thoughts on them. Definitely let me know which one you think I should read first. But yeah, thank you guys again for making it this far into the video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!